Well, Joe Biden is trailing Trump by 6% in the latest national poll, with Trump leading 49% to Biden's 43%. That's CNN poll. Let's bring in Sky News contributor Kosha Gada to explain. Kosha, welcome. Talk us through these latest results.
I mean, these latest polls, I think, on the surface or on paper, certainly spell bad news, continuing bad news for Joe Biden. And, the big picture here is there's a couple of metrics to keep this thing above the fray, where since 1975 or even before that, they've been measuring, do the majority of Americans think the country is on the right track or the wrong track? Biden is severely underwater. 70% of the country thinks he's on the wrong track. The second measure is just overall, the favorability rating, and he's below 40%. Those two metrics have historically always been predictors in the outcome of the presidency. And if you just look at that, he's not doing well because he's severely underwater on both. However, we are in uncharted territory with all the legal cases and the machinery of mass mail-in balloting and all of that stuff. And so it's really anybody's guess, and you've got to take those polls in that context, that the polls alone actually don't really tell us what's going to happen in November.
So far, voters seem unfazed by, well, at least by the current hush money criminal trial. Trump is now preparing for day 9 of this historic hush money criminal trial. What can we expect this week?
Yes, you're right that voters are unfazed because everybody's mind is made up. This is sort of old charges that everybody knows about. It was all litigated in 2016 and 2020, his relationships with these women and all the rest of it. And everybody sees this as really nakedly political for the most part, and people who hate Trump, it gives them more ammo to continue to assassinate his character, which is, something that a lot of people don't like for good reasons and bad reasons. And then people who like him see this as just more martyring of, dredging up old charges and twisting the law and coming up with a novel theory that, is going to do this. It's all about the politics. Basically, I think what's going to happen is this trial will run its course over the next 6 to 8 weeks. They're rushing to get a conviction, which, as shaky as the legal theory is, it seems likely because of the jury bias and all the rest of it that we've been discussing. It will probably get overturned on appeal, but the timing of that may fall after the election. And I think that's what the high stakes maneuver is, that if he gets that label of a convicted felon on the basis of this trial, is that going to be enough to turn off even a small swath of voters in what's likely to be a very tight election? I think that's kind of the game here.
We've only got about 30 seconds, but, in a few months ago, we saw the left media really heating up their questioning about whether Joe Biden would run for the Democrats again. That's all quietened down. Do you think there might still be a handover?
I think as time marches on, it gets less and less likely. The final inflection point for that will be the convention, the Democrat convention in Chicago. That's a last chance where there's sort of a way for another candidate to be parachuted in a way where that candidate would have avoided the mudslinging of the primary, but it looks increasingly unlikely.
Yeah. All right, Kosha Gada, thank you so much.